So while we wait for others, as I've mentioned, with the proposals I have here, which are just four, I will, as much as possible, try to use them as samples to more or less make it easier for everyone to be able to query their own proposals as well, and of course to improve it to a more, I would say, a more competitive level. That's what we'll try to do using these four as an example, and of course I would also share with you.
Is it too late to send in one?
Well, not that it's too late, but it also means that we would naturally not be able to go through, say, all the eight and maybe a lot more if everyone sent theirs. I know that in the group something was shared with you guys, right?
Yes, okay.
The reason why that was shared is because they have already sent your proposal to me to look at, and we will be having something like mock interview with those people. But let's see how it goes. I mean, we have time. I think it's about 1.5 hours, so we may be able to go around. Just have it ready, all right? Hello, Leighton?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just make sure you have it ready because I wouldn't mind. I mean, it will be totally fine to go through all of
So
it.
you don't like that?
Okay, before you hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Dr. Lukman, please, before you start, you make
Yeah.
a promise yesterday that you will give us a template. Please, can we discuss about the template before we start with the mock interview?
Yes, that's what we'll start with actually. That's really what we will start with.
Okay, thank you.
Because I would start with my own presentation, which is just to give more light on some of the important details. So we are 9, and I will just wait for like 1 or 2 more minutes, and after that we should start. I know in the general group you are encouraged to use your name. I don't know. We have a HP here. Please, it will be helpful to put your name that I can mention because we're trying to make this as interactive as possible. All right.
Good afternoon, Dr. Lukman.
You're welcome, Confidence. Good to have you.
Yes, thank you very much.
So what we said earlier is to just
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. Yes.
So I have to like go out and come back again. How do I do
that? Sorry, what did you say again?
My own is displaying HP as the name.
Yes. I know it's possible in your Zoom setting. You just go to your Zoom and then just change it. But if it's going to be complicated, you can just.
Okay, let me try again. See.
But you can just tell me your name and maybe I will not forget.
MD Ibrahim.
Oh, okay. Yeah, MD Ibrahim. I remember.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Doctor, please, after you give us the proposal, like the format, will it be possible, even if you cannot have, like, after we've done it, is it possible for you to still help some of us that are not so confident in our proposals to still, after we have gone through it, if we can still send it to you after the Zoom meeting, if you can just help some of us?
Yes, I will try my best. However, as I have other engagements, I will, as much as possible, try to see if I can help other people improve their proposals by giving direct advice. So it's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So I am inclined to say we should start. We are all together 10 here. It means there are nine of you guys. All right. I will start. So I will share my screen. All right. On the start, I would just like to share my screen and talk to you guys about something. I know we may get some people join us some other time, but we will have to start so that we'll be able to go far, because I can tell you we really have a lot to cover. Please confirm to me you can see my screen as soon as you can.
Yes,
I can see
I
your
can
screen.
see.
Thank you.
I can also see.
Thank you.
I can see your screen.
It should become bigger.
Okay.
Is
It's
that
coming up.
it? You can see it.
Yeah, I can even zoom by touching the screen.
Sorry?
I said I can even see it, but I can even enlarge it by touching my screen to come up.
Okay. I'm saying because I make it full screen, so you can still see it, right?
Yeah, same here.
Okay, great. So I have dedicated this page, all right? So I have dedicated this page to the proposal itself, all right? The goal here is to, as much as possible, try to tell you what is expected in the proposal. For those who were with me in the, not the previous one, but the last session we had before you were invited for the interview, we had the opportunity to actually take a sample proposal and dissect it to the core. And in that session, I think one of the things we try to come up with is that every participant should be able to take any proposal, a PhD proposal, and interrogate it and be able to decide whether this is a good proposal or not. All right. The slide that we'll go through here, I think, is just very brief and simple. It's just to allow you to understand what that is all about. By any means, you should have an idea of what your proposal should be like. Unlike that one where you'll be able to also make major corrections on it, but this will give you an idea. And if you've attended to, it will be a great refresher for you guys. So one of the things I'll discuss here is that in your PhD proposal, you have to be clear, and the person reading your research proposal should know what exactly you are proposing to research on, with no room for ambiguity or confusion. All right. The next thing is to be concise, and what I mean by this is that you may have one or more ideas or something, but that's fine. Make sure you put only the best ones in your proposal. It means you have to be very direct and just focus on a particular idea. It's also necessary to be coherent, because in your proposal, you actually want to tell them, as you guys all know, you start by identifying a particular problem, and you tell them why the problem is actually important. Then, of course, you can tell them why it is a good problem to solve at this time. If you guys can hear me, I think you would understand what I will mean by there can be a problem, but it's not the right time to solve the problem. Do you know what I mean? So there can be there can be a factor of timeliness in problem solving.
Okay.
So you're saying that, hey, everybody, there is a problem, and this problem concerns everybody in Nigeria, and of all the time to solve it, this is the best time to solve the problem, considering that we have A, we have B, we have C. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so spelling this out actually begins to touch a very important part, and these are things that actually make your proposal to stand out. All right, and for me, I try to describe your research proposal in a very simple way, and I said that it only generally expects to have the overview, the methodology, and the outcome. Okay, we can break this into several other parts, but these cannot be missing. These three things cannot be missing in your proposal. It is totally not expected. They have to be, they all have to be present. Okay, that's why I just mentioned it. And I list some questions that your proposal should generously provide answers to. Okay. If you have your proposal already, whether I'm going to be able to look at it here or not, please make sure, or on your own, try to confirm that your proposal directly answers this question before you go into the technical details. Make sure your proposal answers this question. And these questions are, what do you plan to do? In very simple way, feel free to just make it as simple as you can in some other part of your introduction, what you plan to do. And of course, you need to justify why it is important. Remember, I mentioned something earlier. There is a problem that needs to be solved, all right? And this problem, I said, it concerns everyone in Nigeria. What I mean by that, I'm just trying to say that it's a very important problem. Okay? We will still dwell more on this of why it is important to have this problem, or to why it is important to solve this problem. And the next thing is, how can we benefit, right? This directly, or an extension of how can we benefit from the problem you're trying to solve, is that you need to specify the scope of the problem. That is to say that you need to mention that this problem will be able to cover specific areas. You know, you majorly just talk about what your problem can solve. Like, we will take care of this, we will take care of this, we will try to touch this, and we will analyze this, and we will do this and that, all right? And then additional to this, it will be very fantastic if you even have statistics to this, to say that, in fact, our problem in the end could be able to save about 1 million lives, or reduce the people dying due to environmental hazard. If I would take the case of, say, oil spilling pollution, I can say that we expect that this project will allow, you know, maybe 1,000 people will be saved from being exposed to the effects of this environmental hazard, and of course leading to several hundreds from dying when this is fully done. So put some statistics there, and of course, I'm not saying you should close your eyes and just imagine hundreds and thousands and so on. It's usually very strong when you make these claims with some level of justification. And for us, having a citation of a recent paper that has been published in this area is exactly what will nail it. All right? And it's also important how you plan to connect the problem to the solution. And that comes by, how do you plan to do what you want to do? Right? I've also mentioned that try to have a visual illustration of your proposal. This is, for me, this is something you don't want to miss. If possible, have a visual representation of a framework that you're proposing, or something that just help them in one picture understand exactly what you want to do. I have samples of this, and you can easily draw this using Microsoft Word. In fact, there are so many tools online these days that you can use to do this. And also feel free to I don't know, maybe make some samples that maybe, if you already have this, we will soon enough look at the 4 proposals available to me, and I'll make some comments on them live here because I'm going to share them. And it will allow you all to, you know, to understand what I'm really talking about. All right. On the proposal side, this should by now give you a strong skeletal description of what we expect from a strong proposal. Hello, guys. Are you there?
Yeah, we are there. We are here.
We are with
Yes.
you.
Yes. I'm just asking that, does it make any sense to you what can be described to be a strong proposal now, when you want to maybe somehow strengthen what you already have? Do you understand where to touch and what to improve in your own from what we have discussed on this page before we move further? All right. I just want to have an idea that you guys are following.
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
I think
my
it's
question
okay,
is, they have their own format of how to present it. You need to just go by only
Don't worry, I'll come to that. I will actually come to that. I pulled this out from a sample that followed the PTDF. You're talking about the 5-page document that they talk about where you have
yes,
abstract and so on. Don't worry, I
yes,
have that.
Okay.
So this is supposed to be the nutrient in your proposal. Your understanding of this is what I need. You don't have to have only 3 sessions, like I said. I'm just saying that you cannot miss these things in your proposal. And just to be sure, it means you know what I mean by you can have this in your proposal and still follow PTDF format, right? That's exactly what I mean.
Yes.
Good. So we are together. Thank you. So I will move to this, and this is about interview preparation. Okay. Appearance and self-organization count a lot. You must have realized, I think this was mentioned earlier, okay, in the general group, that of how to dress. I don't think we need to go over this again. I would assume it's clear, except you have any specific question about the first point. Your appearance. No, it's clear, right? Good. For self-organization, what I really mean here is to be able to, how you put all your documents together, because they're going to ask a certain thing. And for you to know where is what is very important. And this is usually a factor of how you arrange your document. I have my certificates in just next to each other, whether it's in a folder or in a particular place. And I have list of my publications just somewhere else, and I have all other documents in very separate place. Why? Because when they ask for this, I immediately pull it out from the bunch and I say, this is it. And I know, that's exactly what I mean by self-organization here, right? And you need to develop your confidence early on in the conversation. This is important because we will talk about the 3 steps in the actual interview, which is just by the right side of the screen, if that's at the right side of the screen. But the third point I have for you guys here is what says that you need to provide all original copies of your certificate. Okay. I think this is part of a requirement from PTDF. Do you confirm?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes,
make sure you have the original copies to them.
Yes, it is.
And if you have publications, because I'm speaking now assuming that everyone here is going for PhD interviews. So all your publications, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, print the the actual copies of these publications and staple them separately and put them on top of each other. It can be in another folder. When they ask, this is your publication, and they begin to bring them out. Do you guys understand? Right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we do.
yes,
We do.
sir. Yes,
The next top point under this document organization is your physical and copies of your past awards, grants, and so on. Okay, if you have a physical award or a certificate that says that this is an award to Mr. Mr. Dauda and so on, make sure you put it together. All right. It's important because PTDF counts awards, they count grants and all of those. The next is if you have any academic recommendation letter, if you have, all right. I understand that it's not in a requirement to bring a recommendation letter, but do remember that this is really competitive, and as already mentioned in the general group, you're basically competing with the people in your state. All right. It then means that if you have 5 publications and you tick every other box like every other person in that interview, and they have to break a tie, you happen to have academic recommendation. If you know what I mean by academic recommendation, it could be a professor or somebody who you're very familiar with, who will say that, I know Mr. David very well, and I strongly recommend that PTDF should give him PhD scholarship. This is exactly what it means. and they go on to justify that, this person has demonstrated, maybe you're a lecturer in the school and the senior professor already know you, maybe you're just your friend and so on. And they can generously just justify and explain that, we've worked together for several years and we would like to go on, and this will be a very important opportunity for the applicants. Please, I strongly recommend, without any reservation, this can be that simple tip on your side to be selected in your state. And that's why it's important. So you are actively looking for anything that puts you ahead of every other person. All right. And there is no document that is too much or irrelevant. If you have it, and like I said, remember, it's not compulsory. If you do not have it, it's fine. If you have it, please put it. Then updated copy of your research proposal. You must have uploaded a copy of your research proposal in the online portal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Feel free to, update that based on what you learned today, based on some clarification you have, based on you going back to read it and feel like, there is something I missed here. Let me see how I can improve it. If you do that, that would be fantastic. And print that new copy and take it physically to them. If I remember correctly, I think you should have 2 to 3 copies of those documents, because you arrive in a round table and you have your interviewers just next to you and you will just give it to them. All right. So that's for what we have here. And from some of the important steps you need to watch closely when you're having the interview is that you need to demonstrate your knowledge of your research area. All right. Please tell me this is clear, otherwise I can explain.
Clear, sir. Clear, sir. But hello?
Yes, sir.
Sir, the document,
Yes, sir.
do you mean even with the publications, like if you have 10 publications, are you to photocopy three copies each? Is that what you mean?
I'm afraid yes.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, I get you clear now.
Yeah. The reason is because I think you may not have to. Did PTDF give you what you should, how many copies you should make?
No.
If they don't, I think you're not wrong with 2 copies. You don't have to make so many copies.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Reason being that if you give them 1 copy, they will see it one after the other. All right. And in the end, they will count everything. You just you see how you actually put all of these things together. You make it easier for them because you came with 2 copies of the document. All of these are what actually excite them and give you better grades in it. And by the time you arrive with, maybe you have same points with some other people in your state, you easily have that tip that you deserve because you came on a clearer terms. You came with some of the optional things. You made them compulsory for yourself and you brought them forth. So this is actually what makes you stand out, and that's exactly the definition of standing up. All right.
Yes, sir.
So the next we have here is to sharpen your knowledge of your research trend with justification. The reason why I mentioned this is because it may be important. I mean, it would be good when you understand. I don't know how many people are in computer science or have some understanding of, say, computer science or some of the trends in computer science. It could be fantastic to begin to say how you use artificial intelligence to do certain things, but then the trend may have moved from, say, some previously used AI algorithms, okay, compared to what is trending now. So it's very important for you to understand this and talk about, demonstrate that you understand the trend. Does it make sense to you guys? All right. Yes. So you need to be able to demonstrate that you understand what is happening. If your area is mechanical engineering or any kind of engineering field, there is always a trend. Okay, there are certain things that are being used just from 5 years ago, and between last year, 2 years back, and now, some few things are being tried. And it's important for you to understand where that is going and now be able to place yourself somewhere. And that's what I mean by justification. To further say that the reason why I'm interested in this one is because it has this advantage, it has that advantage, unlike the previous one, which is not able and compatible to do this and do that. This is cheaper, this is better accessible, and you begin to list things like that. Why? Because you understand it. When you say these things, they begin to understand that, okay, this guy knows what they're saying, or what he or she is trying to deliver. Okay, and this gives you a very, very good, they begin to have a particular impression about you, that you know what you're doing, and this gives you better edge ahead of your competitors, and of course strength when it comes to when they actually assign grades to you. Okay, now also for the last point here, you need to show your interview panel some benefits of the potential output of the research work. Statistics could be great. Like, I think I've mentioned this in the previous, which certainly this would have started from the proposal you've written. Okay, part of this is done by the proposal you've written. And when it comes to when you have to talk in the interview, you can further buttress this, give more details of the potential output and how this is important. All right, it's okay to put the statistics there, like I already mentioned, and I think I gave example of what I mean by the statistics in the at the proposal level. Does anyone remember? Yes.
Maybe you can still stress more, sir.
Okay, so what I have said, okay, is that, okay, so I have decided to work on how to use XYZ machines to clean the environment to avoid, I'm just giving a random example, right? Supposing your proposal is how to clean the environment to avoid environmental pollution due to oil spilling, right? You can now say that when we are able to implement this research, my research work will reduce the number of people dying from the diseases caused from environmental pollution due to oil spillage. And of course, it would, say for example, it will make the air, that's part of the pollution. Of course, it causes land pollution, which makes people to not be able to engage in agriculture. Is that correct? And of course, air pollution, because the environment becomes polluted. All of this, you can talk about how it cleans the environment. It makes it healthier for people, right? And it makes, say you end up, supposing it affects a community of 1 or 2 million people, it affects a community of about 1 to 2 million people. You are saving 2 million people from getting affected with these diseases related to environmental pollution. Do you understand what I mean? And of course, let's assume you have a research proposal or a research work or literature that you review that mention the number of people that actually die due to environmental pollution in that area. Or even if it's just about Nigeria, that would already put some insight of how many people you end up avoiding from dying. Oh, this research we are saved the lives of several thousand people from different communities in Nigeria. That's the statistic we're talking about. And of course, please feel free to cite this. In fact, it becomes stronger when you have that citation just next to what you're trying to say. And if this is in your talk, you can mention that there is a literature as you have cited in your proposal relating to this. And this becomes strong because in research, I mean, this is PhD. In research, when you are allowed to make whatever insinuation or whatever perspective you have or any idea you want to deliver, what makes that valid or not interesting to people, and usually it come out stronger when you have a supporting literature or a publication that somehow you can somehow rely on. So that's why it's important to always cite and reference something. So I want to believe this is clear.
It's very clear, sir.
Very clear.
Thank you. So from the interview preparation page, do you guys feel it's clear enough how you should arrive, how you should approach them, what is expected that you provide, and how everything is supposed to go?
Yes.
Sir, I just have a quick question on that one.
When you have a question, Okay, go ahead. Yep, Idris.
Okay. You know, we have the original copies.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
You're talking about your certificate?
Yes, we've arranged everything according to the three categories. The first category being certificates, the next being the publications, the next being any other additional awards and any other additional materials.
Yes.
Would you advise that we
professional
body
membership. Professional body
membership
related, professional membership, you know, all of these, feel free to put them. If you have three professional bodies, add them.
I feel like it's expected that we have more than one panel, more than one person interviewing us. Yes. Is it recommended we had photocopies to it and pass it along with it, or just give them the original and then let them pass it across?
Like I
said, my question.
Yes, I totally get it. In fact, this is because of this your question that I mentioned earlier, that if possible, make 2 to 3 copies, photocopies of your document. All right. Reason being that you're not having, I think you can have 3 to 5 members in the interview room. Okay. So okay, nevertheless, if you arrive with a single copy and they have to pass it to each other, it makes it slower for them compared to someone who arrives. He says, this is copy A, copy B, please have my document, and everybody begin to look at it and they quickly do all of this. This counts positively on you towards organization, all right? And that's why it's important. I mean, I know it's just additional printing that you have to do, but believe me, everything is worth it at this point because you're trying to have an edge.
Thank you.
Sir,
okay.
Sir, a question.
Please.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Covenant.
please. Okay.
Yes, I was selected last year. I went there at the Abuja Center. I did all the photocopies and took them. But when I asked them that I have publication, they were like, publication for what? I was trying to tell them that I added publications so that they will know that, okay, I've done something. I even took a sample of what I wanted to work on there. But it's as if they were not interested in it. So I felt so bad.
Wait,
so I don't know.
Okay, so sorry, I have questions. You're referring to a PhD interview?
Yes.
And the panel collected all your documents?
Yes, they collected all my documents. But when I say also
including the publication you provided?
They didn't collect down. They just told me publication for what? That's where they put it. They just say publication for what? I told them it's part of the requirement, but the way they sound, they're very interested at all. So I have to come back with my publications.
It's strange for me because I know from my experience, I know they collect. Does anyone have similar experience? Because I know strongly that they actually count the publication.
I think
they grade it, you know.
Dr. Lukman.
Yes, please.
I think I was there also last year, and they had similar issue last year.
You mean they did not ask for your publication?
They didn't ask for the publication.
I'm telling you.
They were more like in a speed to just finish and leave.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
they didn't ask for the publication.
Please
Even the explanation
so that we can be
they have
ready.
some list of.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry, I missed.
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. I can hear you now.
Yeah, I said what they did last year. I was there myself at the Abuja interview center, and what they did was just as the other guy said, they were more like in a haste to just finish with you, as if okay, maybe they already have a list of those they want to give the award, and we are just filling in the gap.
Exactly.
I think I totally understand. So let me just say this, all right? I have similar experience, in fact. So what we're trying to do here is, as much as possible, to make sure from your own side you do everything doable. That's the goal here. I know there could be other influential factors on the mannerism of the interview crew. I hope, because in the end, some of those will depend on the organization from the side of PTDF. Do you guys understand what I mean?
Yes, we do.
So as much as possible, you will try to minimize the effect of that on your own general application. All right. But what I strongly encourage you to do is to just focus on what you have to do, like present your document. So what I would do, all right, is that when you arrive, make sure you actually provide the publication, like because I can give you from my experience. So when I arrived, I had all my documents already together, and they are stacked separately, but just in one side. And they begin to ask for the documents. So on my own side, I realized that I don't remember that they have actually graded the publication, just like you guys. All right. So when they said that, okay, we are done, you can go. And I said, excuse me, I have a question. And they said, what? I said, I don't know. How do I know that you have gotten the documents you're looking for? And they said, what do I mean? I said, the publication. I brought 6. And they said, okay, we only record, I think they usually assign marks to, is it the first 4 or something? First 3 or 4. So that's when they actually told me that they have actually graded them. They were just being fast. Does it make sense to you guys?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
So all of these, so what I would want you to do is to actually try as much as possible to, just put friendly face and just ask them like you don't understand and you're trying to understand better, rather than, they can easily feel challenged. You know how it can be, right?
Yes.
You're not to go in that direction. You're not challenging them. You've not done this or something. You're just trying to ask, please. So I am not sure. I just want to be clear. Have you been able to look at this and so on? So that can really help, because in the end, anyway, you're allowed to ask a question. Zaridin, thank you. You can ask a question.
All right. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Actually, sir, my question is, firstly, concerning the submission of the documents, are we going to submit the document, like our credentials, together with the publications at the same time, or we submit the credential first, then followed by the publication and the workshop you attended and every other thing you want to submit?
Okay, thank you, Zaradin, for a very good question. So, direct answer. And maybe this is the reason, just as Covenant and I think MD Ibrahim mentioned, maybe this is the reason why they're able to separate your publication from your other documents. I encourage you to somehow put all of this together. When they ask for your document is composed of the publication, the certificates, and everything all together. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir. Very well, sir.
So it's when you separate it and later you're saying, sorry, wait, there is this additional one. And then they say, maybe they get confused themselves and so on. Try to don't distance them from each other. All right?
All right.
Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Yes, Mr. David, go ahead.
Yes, I want to ask, are they interested in something like transcript?
Transcript? I remember if your transcript, you see, sometimes you do a lot to know what documents will help your situation as well. If you have a very very fantastic transcript and you feel it can tip your side of the equation, why not? You never can tell. It may be a transcript that they look at and they're like, oh, this guy is very good, and then that's it. So if you have a strong transcript, if you know what I mean by that.
Yes.
Good. If that's the case, print it. There is no crime. They will not say, why did you bring this document? We will reduce your mark. There's no such thing. You only get additional points for bringing the documents you bring.
Okay.
But if nothing counts against you, just try to bring the documents you deem relevant. If your transcript is strong, please put it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Idris, thank you. I will remind you guys that we have one more page to go for my presentation, but go ahead. Yes.
Mine is just an addition to what you said. Okay. Somebody advised that for those of us that are going for PhD, we should try and go along with our transcript, primarily because our certificate does not carry our class of degree. And that each class of degree also has a point on its own.
Great. Thank you very much. This is very helpful. So I guess this now makes sense why there should be transcript, Mr. David.
Yes, sir.
Good.
And sir, hello, sir.
Yes, please.
And I think they categorically stated it that we should come along with our transcripts. I think.
Okay. So that's why I asked earlier if they requested, because I don't quite remember. For me, I have been to several. I don't remember how PTDF itself was. I have been to several interviews, so I know some ask, some don't ask, but usually they should ask. They will ask for your bachelor's transcript, your master's transcripts, and at the time, if you have already, just put them.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please, Sir.
So, actually, when I was applying this year, because I think I started applying ever since I came back from my master's 2018, and on 2 occasions I was invited for interview, but nothing comes up. So this time around, a friend of mine said perhaps why not I should try Malaysia, Germany, France. That the UK is highly competitive, and that is what I did. Are you sure? Do you know if the UK has higher competition than maybe Malaysia, France, or Germany?
Oh yes, oh yes. Maybe you're not in the previous session we had. We had already discussed it. Although this question somehow seems out of scope of the interview preparation, but I'll try to answer as brief as possible. So for everyone, you need to know this. So every applicant is grouped into two. All right. It's either you are for UK or you are for one of France, Germany, Malaysia, Brazil. I think they have this time around, right? So it's either you have one of a chance of a chance of missing it, either UK or non-UK. That's basically what it means. And by default, I don't know, it's actually what happened that several people tend to be inclined towards UK. And that means you versus all the plenty of people who are interested in UK, rather than going to other places like France, like Germany, like Malaysia and Brazil now, before there was China. So these are actually, in fact, this is what we gave as advice to other people, that it's totally fine to come to France or Germany or any other place you're interested in, rather than going to UK. It does not have to be the UK. I must tell you honestly, I personally didn't want to apply for UK because I didn't want to actually do anything in the UK. Like that's it. Because I remember, in fact, I had a previous scholarship, not full scholarship at the time, from UK and so on, but I was not inclined to the UK. But that's not the reason why I didn't choose it. But I also noticed that the competition for UK is too strong compared to that of other regions. Just advice. Yes, Mr. David.
Yes, sir. In the case where you applied for UK and you become uncomfortable with UK, and since the scope of where you want to go are 4 countries, and you decide to choose another country, like say Germany, what happens until you decide to secure admission in Germany and you take the admission with you to the interview?
I don't understand. Are you talking about after the person gets the scholarship?
No, yes.
After you get the scholarship?
Portal, yes, no, not after getting the scholarship.
Now,
yes. You apply.
Yes.
You apply to UK.
Totally fine. You can go and change it.
No, I think the window is closed now.
Yes, the window is closed.
Okay. Well, I didn't know about it, but it was
no. It can change if it's between. If it chose something like Malaysia, GCFM, you can change within that area. But if you chose UK, you can't change from UK to GCF.
Okay, you can't change from UK.
You can't change from UK to GCFM, but you can change between GCFM. You can change between Germany to go to Malaysia. Joshua.
Okay, I get you now.
Okay, thank you, Idris. So to everyone, I'll go quickly to the last page, all right, for the sample interview that we have, okay? All right. I had put some things here. I'm sure you can. I know Covenant is here, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Good. You're number one on my list.
Okay.
For the samples that I have here. And I will just share it. So it's okay. I'll just okay. Okay. I have Ibrahim Mohammed Danlani. I have Dauda Muhammad and MZ Yusuf. Are
Yes,
you guys all here?
Yeah, we are here. I'm here.
Okay.
Covenant.
I'm here also.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, just a second, guys.
So I actually came late. I don't really know what you're doing now presently.
I'm not sure. I don't. Who sorry. Who?
Are you sharing the document?
I don't know who is talking. Sorry.
It's David, sir.
Oh, okay, Mr. David. So let me just say, if you are in the group or if you are around before, so there were people selected, like many people were expected, people that were here. I think at the time there were actually just 4 of you guys, but it was expected that I have your research proposal before you join. So I'm just saying the people that were here. All right.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
That's what I meant.
Sorry, I wasn't around that time.
Okay.
I came late.
Okay. Okay.
It's okay, sir.
All right. No problem. So I will share my screen. Okay.
Sorry, I have a question before you move on.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. So what do they expect you to have as results when you put results in that? Is it what you have discussed earlier, like what will likely be your findings, or they want you to already, because it's like a research, you don't know what, it's not like you know the answer now, but is it what it will be the likely outcome that you are going to be seeing, or what is going to be the tangible results? I don't know if you understand me.
Yes, I totally understand. Your actual research is, as they say, it's like a journey of uncertainty, all right? And you are not expected to know what exactly you're going to get as an outcome, but you should have an idea of what to expect. And that's why it's a proposal. So you are actually writing on expected results, not results. Except you already have preliminary work. All right.
So expected is like, I mean, the outcome, like, okay, like, let me just give an example.
Expected
like, okay,
outcome.
Expected outcome. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will start with Mr. David. Mr. Covenant. So what I mentioned earlier, Mr. David, you can hear me. I mentioned that if you I only have 4 here, like I said. I have proposal for Mr. Covenant, Mr. Dauda, Mr. Ibrahim, and Mr. Yusuf. And
Yes.
we will try to go through this as just sample interview quickly.
Yes, sir.
But for the rest of you guys, feel free, maybe after now, if we can have, I don't know, if you have any major thing that you're not sure about that I can help you clarify a little bit more, that is okay. I'll try to find some time to do that. All right.
All right.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So we will start with Mr. Confidence. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, sir.
Okay. I try to make this just to happen in 5 minutes or less, in fact. Okay. So thank you very much. Can you describe yourself?
My name is Ebadi Covenant. I'm in Nigeria. Graduate of
I don't know why I suddenly could not hear you, but
okay,
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, my name is Ebadi Covenant. I am in Nigeria. I'm a graduate of genetics and biotechnology from the University of Calabar.
Can hear you now.
Okay, and also holds a master's degree in cytogenetics and plant breeding from the University of Jos Plateau State. Currently, I am an assistant lecturer in the Department of Genetics and Biotechnology, University of Calabar, Cross River
Great.
State.
You still see my screen, right?
Sorry?
You still see my screen, right?
Yeah, I see your screen.
Okay.
I've seen your screen.
You will, from left to right, try to answer those points as quickly as you can. I'll be listening to you so that we don't take much time. So I think you're already at the first point. You must.
Yes.
So go ahead.
All right. My personal qualities involve, I'm a very active person. Once I'm given a task, I ensure that I put everything to ensure that that task is achieved. What sets me apart from other candidates is the fact that I'm a very finicky person. When I mean finicky person, I pay attention to details, no matter how small they could be. My strength is that I could go all and all. And while my weakness is I'm too passionate about something, too emotions about something, especially when it has to do with human beings. And what has motivated me to pursue a PhD in the last 4 years has, aside that, is going to add to my career growth. A PhD is necessary for promotions where I work. As an academic person, I need the PhD to move on the ladder. If I'm to get to the last ladder in the academic pursuit. And why I've been able to choose this specific field is because I was fortunate to do my NYC in River State, Gokana to be precise, which is just a distance to Bodo, where oil spill effect has been felt so much by the community. And I took it as a point of consent to do something because over the years, both the oil and gas sectors and the government has introduced new cleaning methods, but none of them has been sustainable because of the expenses it is. So my research is tailored towards providing a low cost and an efficient means of safeguarding our environment. That's why I went into this field. And why I choose the University of Newcastle, because in the last 3 months, I've been speaking with a professor from that particular department. I've introduced my research interest to him, and the prof seems to be very comfortable with it. And he has promised me that he will provide everything necessary to be able to achieve the objectives and the aims of my study. So
Thank you. Yes, I was even going to stop you. Thank you very much, and I think it's brief enough. So I want to just say something quick. It's very important that you are somehow in tune with the room. Remember, this is rather virtual. You will be physically there, so you have to be in tune with the people you're talking to when you speak. All right?
Okay.
Over here, I have your proposal. Okay.
Yes.
And I have some of the objectives that you mentioned. Okay.
Yes.
Can you, in brief sentence, tell us what are these objectives?
One of the objectives is to be able to provide a cheap and sustainable cleaning technology. And then the second is to be able to test for the quantity and quality of hydrocarbons in the soil. And then thirdly is to be able to to also test for other physicochemical properties of the soil. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay.
Okay.
I think those are the ones I agree with. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. I think generally I have seen your report here. So for me, I'll just give direct feedback on what I can see here. Okay.
Okay.
I know you have added a section called expected contribution of this study to knowledge, and your conclusion, which is rather very brief. You also provide something you call a scheme of work and activity. I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Just like what you were saying before, like a visual on how it's going to go, the years and what I'm going to do.
Oh,
That's
okay. Okay. If that's what you attempt to do here, I think that's not what I was referring to when I said a visual illustration of what you're going to do. This is rather scheduled for the activities that you will do. It's good if you have a plan on how you're going to finish it in 3 years. But what I was really meaning is something that I will show you as an example, and I'll show you everyone just soon. But it's actually an illustration of your work. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And for me, I think I do not, because this arrived to me sometime. I think sometime. Well, I only have much time in the afternoon, but what I have done is, yes, you have the necessary sections here, but please make sure that you remember those important details that we said you have to directly respond to.
Okay.
Make sure they are present. All right.
Okay.
Make sure that I have seen that you have citations, which is great, and you are able to break the sessions into some of the things that are usually expected. But please make sure that in the real detail of your proposal, because what will in the end happen is that your interview team, just like me now, will not start reading everything. They will depend on everything you can say. And that's why I actually asked you to tell me about the objectives earlier. And this time around, it's not for you to try to remember anything. It's for you to, from the inside, explain to them exactly what you really want to do in a convincing way. Remember, you have to demonstrate the knowledge of the research area, and of course, try to persuade them, this interview panel, that it is worth doing, and it generates very big benefits to Nigeria, to the community you target, and so on. All right.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much, and I think this is fantastic work when it comes to the methodology. I could be more technical than this, but I'm leaving it at this because we don't have forever to actually dig into this. All right.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Because all of this at one direction could be fine, and then when we look more deeply, there could be several other queries. That's what I really mean. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why I'm actually betting it on you that from this meeting we have, I expect that now you can take your proposal and interrogate it heavily and be able to tell yourself that actually I think I missed something here. Let me add it and so on. That's what I really want you to do. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you. Mr. Dauda said he's around also.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Dauda, you there?
Yes. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Thank you. I am looking at your proposal. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Please take me through. You see the questions on the screen, right?
Yes. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, sir. My name is Dauda Muhammad, and actually I'm from computer science background. I have my first degree in computer science from Kano University of Technology, Ude, and I had my master's from University Technology, Malaysia. The qualities that describe me, the best quality that describe me from other candidates are, I'm very attentive to details, and I try to be very attentive to details. My strength is I'm very dedicated, and my weakness is
Thank you. Sorry, are you having any challenge? Maybe your internet. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Mr. Dauda, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Continue.
Okay. So the reason why I try to pursue, the reason what motivates me from doing PhD is, first of all, I am in academic career. So I'm assistant lecturer at computer science department in a polytechnic. And another reason is if I want to succeed in my career as an academic, I need to have a PhD. And why I choose the university is the university I choose is because it has a lot of professors that have that have research inclination similar to mine. And the reason why I choose the program is because of the nature and the gravity of the problem I try to address in Nigerian oil and gas industry. I have some little soft skills like programming. I can program in Python. I very familiar with analysis softwares like Power BI and Tableau.
Thank you very much. If you're done, so all I can say now is that so you see the questions on my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
These are actually for practice purpose. In the real interview, chances are you will be having probably similar questions, but in total different tone. You know what I mean, right?
Yes, sir.
The ability to adapt and answer the question you see at every particular point in time will be very important. All right. So
yes, sir.
I just want you to, and that's what you also say when you say you pay attention to detail. Every of these questions, you should be able to understand what they demand of you. I have general comments to everyone at the end of it. All right. So it's totally fine. One major thing I need to say, I think by now I had mentioned that Mr. Covenant, you should, I don't think you need the proposed plan, which is rather empty.
Okay.
In fact, the real issue is that it's actually empty. Like there's nothing in it. I could see the difference in the one here, which Mr. Dauda also put, but I think there are a few things here of semester 1, semester 2, which one can also argue that they may not be semester in the PhD like that, but it's okay if you break it down into semester. It's just to gauge your activity. But more interestingly, I think you need to be more in tune to the exact thing you want to do, because you can be faced with questions like, please, in one sentence, tell me what you want to do.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
This is a rather general comment, okay? So Mr.
Yes.
Dauda, Mr. Combs,
That's it.
you should be able to take every opportunity to convince everybody that this is what doing, without having to tell us the obvious. You know what I mean by the obvious. You just try to say something that is very specific to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Ibrahim, you're here. Yes. You have proposed characterization, simulation, and estimation of storage capacity of depleted hydrocarbon reservoirs in the Niger Delta for carbon sequestration and enhanced oil recovery. Yes. Mr. Ibrahim, are you there? Okay, maybe we don't have Mr. Ibrahim.
Hello, I'm around.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you
Good.
hear me?
Yes. We can hear you. So I'm looking at your proposal. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I know by now you're very familiar with what everyone has pretty much commented on these questions on my screen.
Yeah, surely.
Since it's for practice purpose, it may not. I think it may not be needed to have you just repeat similar things. You should just be able to answer. I think what the general comments have made about this is that you should be able to answer the particular question posed to you.
Yeah.
So and understand what the question actually demands of you. That's just what I think you should rather focus on. More specifically, I have seen that you have
Hello?
yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
You saying something?
Yes.
You said you have seen that what?
Do you guys see my? Okay.
Yes, I can
Okay.
see it now.
It's a page not found.
Okay. You should. I am looking for something. So I actually clicked something you referenced, and that's when it said page not found. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's because I know a researcher that you cited. I mean, I have the guy interview me just some weeks back, and I wanted to see, but then it says page not found. But it's fine. What I have seen here, you pretty much try to cover the expected sections. I have seen something you mentioned about computational modeling. Make sure that is valid and convincing enough. Do you have an illustration to describe that? If you do,
Yeah,
I
actually,
highly encourage that you put it.
yeah, actually, the whole research is about simulation because we are talking about how to store CO2 in depleted hydrocarbon reservoirs in the Niger Delta. And we all know that we have about 606 oil wells in the Niger Delta, both onshore and offshore.
Okay.
And of these, around 25 to 30 of them are abandoned wells. This wells could serve as a reservoir that could be used to store CO2. Nigeria has signed a treaty.
Okay.
With,
I just wanted a brief response to that. Yeah, I think it's pretty much clear because I actually see that you also point out the objectives, which should be quantifiable. Yes. Each of the objectives that you point out here, and to me that's good. Make sure you, like I already mentioned, by now you have the capability to interrogate your own research severely. All right. Just so that you improve it to what is expected, just like for everyone
actually
else.
Though for the objective I try to slim it down a bit so that the sentence will not be too much, because
I know for the interview what is expected is that chances are you will have that opportunity to actually explain it in detail to the panel, so you can also leverage that as an opportunity to sell yourself. And also, and I think maybe this is what I just observed from when you described something, or maybe for everyone, as also a general comment, do not assume anything. Like you mentioned, if you're going to, I don't know the number of oil wells that are in Nigeria, even though I do something similar. So do not assume anything. Try to give the details so that, okay, this is actually what's happening. That will be better in terms of yes,
more definite.
Yes, it would give better perspective or insight of your case than when you assume that this one is there and so on. Okay,
yeah,
so
I think one of the major challenges. Lukman, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Since you are doing a related research, one of the major challenge I am thinking about is how to assess data.
Okay, this will be extensively described, all right, about assessing data is a general and common problem. Yesterday, or was it yesterday, on Friday, in the general group, we have explained this, that usually, in fact, it's very difficult to acquire data, especially when it is sourced from Nigeria, right? And chances are good when you do research in France, in UK, in all these places, in Germany, because you would have access to certain data that become available to you. There are public data sets you can actually use to at least work on the model you want to propose. Okay. And then subsequently, you can now maybe try to integrate this with the data that come directly from Nigeria. So For that, you can use this as also a leverage in case they ask how you're going to get your data. You don't want to shoot yourself in the leg by saying that data is very difficult to get. And then they will say, so how are you going to do this? You understand?
Yeah, because if they say, for instance, most of the oil companies find it difficult to release, especially some sensitive data
Yeah, that's exactly the case.
So but somebody told me that there are open source data.
Exactly. That's yeah. You would have public data sets available in some of these schools that have a research activeness in that research area. So don't worry about that. But you don't have to mention it except they ask. That's just what I want to say.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Yusuf is also here. If Mr. Yusuf is not here, are you there? No.
I'm here, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yes, your work on bioremediation of soil contaminated with petroleum, hydrocarbons, and heavy metals using metagenomics and transcriptomics techniques. Okay. So, what do you want to say about this in summary?
Okay.
We have very short time.
All right. Concerning the work, one of the major objectives of the work is that I want to actually isolate a particular microbes and as well as the active enzymes that can be used in bioremediating of these polluted soils, as well as soil accumulated with heavy metals. So by getting these enzymes, we'll be able to replicate them in a much more bigger forms. So instead of using the other methods like the chemical methods, which are much more expensive and are actually also very harmful, we can use these enzymes to be able to get these enzymes for bioremediating of the contaminated soils.
Okay, thank you. I think that's a bit clear. I just want to say something, Mr. Yusuf. You have a flow chart here.
Oh, yes, sir.
You have a flow chart here. Just to mention, it's pixelating. I think it's very important that you redraw it in a very clear way. You can use Microsoft Word to do this. That's one of the examples of what I actually want you guys to have. Although I know that you took this from a particular source, a research publication, but if you can redraw it, please redraw it so people can see it because it's not visible, and you don't want to have a diagram that people can't even see properly. And I don't know, but it seems like it's nice that you heavily have cited the proposal here, but it's important that you're able to, in simple terms, okay, be able to describe your work to people and why it is important. All right.
Okay, sir.
This will come under general comments when I do talk about it. I will share my screen. Of course, I will share my screen. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. So I will stop sharing and I'll start sharing something else. Okay, do you guys see this?
Yes. I can see it.
Okay.
Will not. Yes, though not very clear.
The writings are tiny.
Okay.
Okay. It will only mean that we should do this, right?
I've tried Zoom.
It's more clearer now.
Okay,
Yes.
I will tell you about it. I will tell you about it. I think my main goal is not to show you the text and all of that. It's just to show you something in it. When you can take notice of how I separated different sections. Okay, the background of the study, the statement of the problem, or the significance to why it is important to oil and gas sector, right?
Yes.
And of course, then I talk about the aim and objectives and what the contribution to knowledge is. All of this is in the chapter 1 introduction. Then in chapter 2, which is literature review, we talk about, we highlight some important things very, very briefly. And the next, which is the methodology and so on. Do you you probably should see something that is being proposed here by this person. Do you see it? I don't know if you guys do you see it?
We are seeing it.
So this is the illustration I was asking from you guys.
Okay.
This in one picture will deliver your message to those people without stress. Because now they begin to understand, oh, petroinformatics. It means there is a domain engineer who is able to contact a central database. There is an inference analysis system. There is an automation, artificial intelligence system. All of these components that makes what you are trying to, the message you're trying to pass, come in one picture. And that's just one of the things I think you don't want to miss. Have a simple diagram like this that simply just describe what you want to do. All right. I think I'm just, in fact, I majorly show this work because I want you guys to understand what I mean when I say illustration. So is it clear now to everyone?
Very clear, sir.
Very clear.
Okay. It can depend on your own particular case. I know you guys already proposed different ideas. Very good. Just go ahead. The topic here is a petroinformatics for intelligent system application in oil and gas using machine learning. And this is what is expected. So if I am to go down, is there any other thing? Do you see how very short some sessions are? It comes up in the clarity. You don't want to put some very complicated equation here that nobody will care about. You want to deliver the message loud and clear, and that's it. And that's really what they care about, because all of these interviews that you spend forever preparing to will be done in less than 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And that's what actually, you remember I made mention that during my time, I had to ask, please, are we, like, they said, I'm done, I can go. And I said, I have a question. How am I sure that you've gotten what you needed? Because to me, it was super short. Do you understand?
Yes.
So yes, I mean, because I wanted to be sure that I didn't miss anything, but apparently it's because when you deliver the message simple enough, clear enough, it goes back to the first slide we have here. Okay, you guys won't see it. You remember, be clear, be concise, be coherent, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's really what is expected, and that's the reason why I showed this. Don't forget, remember, you should have an illustration. It could
before you leave,
a lot.
can you share that same page again?
No, I'm not. I'm not actually thinking I should share it, but
no, not this. Actually,
what exactly do you want me to share?
Your first slide, that be clear, be concise. I was trying to write.
Someone sent me template to. Okay, before I miss something, let me reshare my screen so that I'll make sure that you guys are seeing. Yeah, you're referring to this, is that correct?
No, not this one. I think when you started asking questions, I think that's where. Not this. I don't think it's this one. The next slide. So.
This one?
I think, yeah. I think.
Which of them?
The first one. The first one.
Is it this one?
Yes. Let me just snap it.
Yeah, this one is actually meant for you guys. I mean, all of these 1, 2, 3 is all meant for you guys. But I think even here I mentioned it. Try to have a visual illustration of your proposal. Do you guys now have an understanding of what I mean?
Yes.
Yes. So you mean there should be a detailed flowchart?
It can be a flowchart. It could be, what you saw was a process diagram.
Yes.
I mean, we will speak about UML diagram here. It's just, it could be an engineering diagram that shows different components and how they interact with each other to deliver the result, right?
PhD proposal and what again? There's something you just showed now. There is us.
Can we use lines to just depict it? Say, for example, you write the first step, use another line, show the next step, another line, next step. Or it has to be with diagrams.
Maybe I don't understand what you mean.
Okay, what I mean is, okay, perhaps my background is not towards this engineering. I'm a biochemist. I read biochemistry.
Okay.
I have what we call pathways. So in our pathways, each step leads to another. Say, for example, I am working on evaluation of using DNA enzymes, nanotechnology to detect pollutants in water. I'll pick the first step I want to do, let's say sample acquisition.
If I have the details of what you just described, all right?
Yes.
I can produce just the same diagram you saw earlier, just similar to that. Having a pictorial illustration of an idea is a common language to every research domain.
Okay.
All right, it's about, you know, the components involved in this, right? You mentioned nanoparticles, you mentioned so many things. So those things will actually be somewhere, if you have an icon to represent them, and how they link to each other. Okay, from this we do purification, and then from this one will help to extract. Sometimes this may happen, and then it goes to the next process, and then in the end we arrive at this. That's what you, and one thing you ask yourself when you have a sample of this is, does this directly represent the idea? If it does, then you're good.
Okay.
Yes, if it does, congratulations.
Thanks.
So can you share the illustration again?
Illustration again. Okay, I should
Also,
have
please share that slide on that was guiding them on the interview, if you can.
Is it this? Is it
Yes,
this?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. This was just to be as a reminder, so you can have this. So I want to also be sure that for those who we did not have time to, have any demo interview, you will be able to know at least what is expected of you. If you take your proposal now, you'll be able to interrogate it heavily and make a strong improvements to them. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
I know we have other people that have not said much. Bill, you're here.
Yes.
Sorry, Joel, please go ahead. You have a question. Your hands are up. Joel, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, greetings, sir. I just wanted to ask if you could share the last template you showed us, so that we can get, or you can send it to my mail. I was the one who typed the question earlier, sir.
At some point, I couldn't hear you again. Sorry.
I said I was the one that typed asking if you could send your templates to my mail, or if you could show us on the screen so we can screenshot, sir.
Okay. You see, where is my screen? I will share my screen. Okay. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is this what you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I need to say something, sir.
Yes, please.
So I think we all need to understand that this proposed framework or model could be so different based on our research areas.
Very true.
So if we, though it's good to say how it looks like, this is machine learning application, and I don't think, well, it depends. We definitely need to see something if everybody wants to see it, but I don't think we may have the same thing as Dr. Lukman has here.
That's fundamental. No two of them is supposed to be the same, by the way. All right, even if they are in the same engineering field, or even if they are in biology and so on, they're not supposed to be the same. What I know that is common is that it should show components and how they interact with each other and how they do to provide the result. I mean, this come to me, just having to look at it, there are lots of questions on this, but at the proposal level, and the message I'm trying to pass here is that you should have a visual illustration. And that's why I don't think this is even a good example to show you. I was just actually trying to, tell you that it's important. And I realized that maybe some of you guys misunderstood what I mean by visual illustration. So I decided to show you an example. But this is by no means the what it has to look like or any of those. Well, your hand is still up. If you want, you can ask another question if you have.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
So, now, if somebody altered his proposal too much away from the one he submitted, will there be a problem?
It is your proposal version 2, and you are the one that did it, and it came
Yes.
from what you had before. Do you? By the way,
Yes.
let me confirm something. Did you change the topic?
No, the topic remains the same.
Okay, so that's it. You simply just improved it. In fact, that's exactly what everyone else did. That's what I did.
Sir, what if
I
you
went
need to change the topic because of all this talk about data?
No, so I have already mentioned it. Data has no influence here yet. We're not talking about the data yet. All right?
Okay.
I just want to be clear. I understand there could be problem with data, but that's not a reason for you to change topic. Because remember, when we said it could be difficult to acquire data from Nigeria, we also mentioned that it's possible that you get public data sets, right? So there is a way out of that. What I had said earlier is that. Can every other person hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you
I can
clearly.
hear you now.
Okay. Okay. What I said is that the thing you should not mention is to say that everyone, I have a proposal, but there will be no data available for me. Do you understand? This will be you shooting yourself on the leg.
Okay, sir.
Even if that is your perceived challenge, it's not yet confirmed. When you get to Germany or France or UK, where you're going to do the research, your professor might say, look, we have this data and we can contact these social people and you can begin to get data, all right? But yes, I agree, if you're trying to get data from Nigeria specifically, there will be a few steps involved, which come much later. But at this point, nobody cares about the data. It's not supposed to be a stopper for you. All right?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
What process does it take to get a prof you want to work with in Europe? Should you get the PTDF scholarship for PhD, sir?
I have always encouraged, and I know many people always ask this question, should I apply for admission yet? Should I speak to a professor yet? Should I try to? All of those to me are not important so far. You need to get the scholarship first.
Okay.
It's a question of chicken or egg, which one comes first?
Egg comes first.
So, I mean, all that is, I mean, your admission or speaking to a professor becomes necessary after you get the scholarship. For now, your 100%, your eye should be on the scholarship, nailing it first.
Okay, sir.
You can assume every other thing. I mean, you can tell them that, oh, I have discussed this with some professors and they're very excited about my work and they think it's highly impactful. This is good, but you don't have to say that I have. It's good when you mention that. It means that you're really looking forward to it. But this does not mean that you have to speak to a particular professor in a particular school in Germany and you're giving them update that that's not necessary. I could speak to a professor in my school and he thinks it's very exciting work to do. And that's sufficient. You can say a professor is already very excited about my work and so on. And so you can put this, that's good. But it does not require you to have admission to speak to any professor to do any of those steps yet. At least that shouldn't be a focus for now. Yes, Zaridin, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sorry. Actually, sir, when I was filling the application, I actually used my statement of results from my MSc, but immediately I saw my name among the shortlisted candidates for the interview, I quickly rushed down to my university to collect my original certificate. Does that influence anything or?
So where does this all conclude? Now you have your original certificate?
Yes. Now,
as we said earlier, print it and
yes.
go with the original one that you've newly collected. That's it.
Okay, I get it, sir.
Because I mean, it's not like the statement is different from the original, right?
It's not.
So you're good. Make sure you have the original that you now currently have. Yes, Mr. Shiv, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello. Okay,
Yes,
so I
please.
want to ask, I get a bit confused about this. I heard some people mentioning about getting admission first. I want to know, is the scholarship going to take care of getting admission for you, or the students have to get the admissions themselves after the scholarship has been awarded?
Sorry, repeat your question again. I missed that.
I want to know, are we to source for admission and other things relating to the schools after the scholarship has been awarded, or PTDF will take care of that?
No, PTDF does not care about that. You will have to get your admission for yourself when the time is right.
Okay.
So which means that you will be more interested in getting the scholarship before looking for admission, right? Because it's useless if you have admission and you don't have the scholarship.
Yes.
Right? I mean, your target is to get the scholarship.
Yes.
That's why I encourage that for now, focus on getting the scholarship. You will get admission. That's almost for sure.
Sorry, just one last one from me on this. I know that you said we shouldn't yet bother about the admission, but I want to this one is just for clarity's sake.
Go ahead.
Does this sponsorship, does it cover, because I see a lot of different things in the UK. I see doctoral training program, I see PhD. Which one? And those doctoral training are like 4 years, and I see PhDs like 3 years. So what duration?
It's either I don't understand your question, or they are actually the same. Program can be 3 years.
No, the doctoral training is always like 4 years. Most
what's
times
the
the
output?
doctoral training
What's the end product of passing through a doctoral program?
I don't really know. I'm just saying.
Because I think in the end you will end up with a PhD in anyone, and which is true. Here in France, you can do your PhD in 3 years, you can do it in 4 years, you can do it in 6 years.
But the outcome depends on how fast you finish your work.
Yes, more or less. Yes. So, Madam, do you understand now?
Yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's just about, I think I don't know how many years you want to do yours, if it's 3 years or 4 years. My colleagues in the UK, some of them have done 3 years and they have graduated. Some others have done 4 years and they are still doing it. So it's totally up to you how you want to do this. All right. Mr. Ashiru, I know your hands are up, but I'll give the mic to Ruth, who just raised up the hand. I'll come back to you. Just
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. We're hearing you.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask of any peculiarity with virtual interview, because I'm going for virtual interview. Am I supposed to make a slide? Am I supposed to share my screen showing my credentials? I don't know if there's anything I should.
Okay, just to clarify, have you been given your time slot and the confirmation that you will be having a virtual interview?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when was this?
That was, I think, yesterday.
Because I understand many people complain that they have not given, there is no indication that there is virtual interview. So did you send additional email to them to request for virtual interview, or how did it go? That's exactly my question.
Yes, I sent an email and I was able to sort it out. So I've been given a time slot, yes.
Okay. If you want to help others with this, can you maybe share who you send email? Hello.
All right,
are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm not sure I can do that because.
No, it's also important if you're telling me, okay, maybe I know somebody there and they help me. It's fine, but you can just say it. I'm saying this because I know many people are interested in this. So it's just to clarify that, right?
Yes, I think somebody helped me and I don't know if how.
Okay, so for the interview, from my experience, okay, you will not. This is for PhD, all right. I would advise that you prepare presentation slides, even if they don't ask, all right?
Okay.
And make sure the slides are strong enough to deliver your message. Remember, they won't be reading, I mean, they will mostly be listening to you and they want to see you, and you would try to deliver the message in the process. If you have slides to show, your slide here is support for the message you want to deliver. Always put that in mind. So yes, I said you can add a presentation slide. So if you have it, it's going to be useful and helpful for you. It makes your job easier. But if you don't have it, it might be difficult in situation where we cannot hear you, something is not working, but at least they could see a slide and then they could manage with things. So it could be advantageous if you have slide, but I don't see any disadvantage of having any slide. All right?
All right, thank you.
Do we have more hands? If you guys observe, you see that I put another sample of something when I discuss about illustration, having an illustration of an idea. Do you guys see this? I've been sharing my screen based on that.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, it's just to tell you it can be entirely a different thing. In this picture, if, I mean, it takes it's almost intuitive. You can see that there is a biobank somewhere. Let me try to annotate. Spotlight. You can see that there is a biobank somewhere, right? And there are healthcare centers, and there will be medical imagery data, and somehow there is interaction between these two. And of course, there is cross-regional collaboration between NGOs and governments, and this provide the data law, academicians and research institutions. All of this, when you have all these connected together in a meaningful way, that's all that is requested. It makes it easier for anybody to relate with your work more easily, because they don't have the time to start reading very long paragraph of what you're trying to describe. And I hope this is clear. I know we have time is spent. Yes. I will use the last few minutes to get specific questions that you have, everyone. And yeah, specific questions, any area of, okay, yep. We have 8 more minutes to close the breakout session. Remember, we've been recording the session.
Hello, doctor.
Please go ahead.
Please, can you give us your email for those of us that want to send you our proposal afterwards, if you have the time to do that?
Okay, yes, I will. Sorry, I just noticed in my message, some people have sent their, I don't know what they want me to send in the email, but I would write my email here. Let me see. Yeah, that's my email. Sorry, I would just ask specific questions. I have a person. Okay, anyway, Chisom, you are here. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Good evening.
Yes, please. Good evening.
Yeah. So I've just been, though I came late, though I just wanted to get some some insights concerning the interview.
Yep.
For the dressing, like you made mention, one could be more formal, right? Maybe as a man, you have to wear suits.
Yeah.
So that is clear. Secondly, in terms of the PhD proposal, Should we inch more on the methodology? Like, is it that my focus should be more on the methodology? I plan to do that based on these 4 items that has been itemized there. What do you plan to do? Why is it important? I think they may be more interested in knowing how I can go about that. Is it something I have to put into more emphasis? The methodology.
Yes, you're right. Thank you for a very good question. In fact, the part that connects more directly to the methodology you mentioned will be the last point. Does everyone agree?
Okay.
Yes.
You mean the methodology will be the last one, right?
Yes, is the methodology you mentioned will be, I mean, among these points, the one that connects more directly to your methodology is how do you plan to do it, what you propose. That's asking about your methodology. So yes, methodology is one of the things you need to clearly spell out. Remember, I put a point of what your proposal entirely should at least have. It is overview, must have a general overview, methodology, and then should have outcome too. So once you have this, you can be good to go. Remember, we've mentioned that there is a template provided by PTDF that you should follow, and you should make sure that all of these points are clearly identified. And that this is what is important when we talk about you trying to criticize your proposal and improve it tremendously. This is what actually will give you that opportunity. All right.
Okay. So sorry, one last one. In terms of the document we need to come with, including our proposed research and everything must be printed out, right?
Yes.
All our documents,
so, do you see my screen?
Membership operational body. You can't show anything from your phone. Like maybe there's some that is given online and all that. You can't show from your phone, right?
Oh no. Physically printed. All right.
Sorry.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, it should be physically printed. You don't come and say, so guys, here, this is it, and it's in my phone. No. If I am in the crew, it will be very bad. You don't do that. It's not expected at least. So please try to print it. And if you have a research, I think many people ask this, do I print the front page or I print everything? Please print everything. If there are 10 publications, print all the pages of each publication and print all the publications. Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Blessing, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My question is, do we need to spellbind the research proposal for PhD? Do we need to spellbind it? Because mine is about 8 to 9 pages.
You don't have to. Just staple it and it's sufficient. You can put a clip, it's also sufficient. And I think whatever can put it together without them start looking for, where is your page one? We don't find it. It's under the chair. That's what you must do so that they don't get separated. So I know Office pin can hold it, but you know that can happen when it's pulled out of the pin and then they become problems. So staple it. That's it.
Hello.
Thank you.
Just staple it. Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yeah, so my final question is about after, if you are lucky to be awarded, do you still have chance to change school? Okay, maybe if you have chosen the Malaysia, Germany, France, can you switch between Malaysia to Germany or Germany to Malaysia or vice versa?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
So when you're given the scholarship, all right?
Yes.
I hope you all get the scholarship.
Amen. Amen.
I mean, that's why we're having this. Don't worry, you guys will get the scholarship. Just make sure you do your best. So, if you have chosen, say, Germany or France or Malaysia, you can float around this region, all right? However, I don't think you will be able to convert from Germany or France to UK.
No, it's okay. It's okay, actually.
Right? No, yeah. And also, if you have UK, I think I have seen someone who wants to convert from UK to Germany or France, which is okay, but I don't think the reverse is okay. But I continue to emphasize that for me, in fact, most people would say, I mean, the quality is just about the same. what is important at this level is getting the scholarship. And I tell you, your experience in Germany, France, and so on, if you really want to do the work and if you're motivated and you just, if it's about the work and getting the scholarship to do the work, trust me, you'll be good in those areas. All right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
More questions? Otherwise, I think 8 minutes has started.
Sorry. Just to add to it, I choose the UK. So can I change it to France or Germany now?
I don't know. You can check your portal. If it's possible, I advise. Remember, we said that there is heavy competition. You are putting yourself in unnecessary competition by choosing UK. Because in your state, perhaps just 1 or 2 people will be given the UK, and nearly everyone wants to go to the UK. Nevertheless, I think there is wider slot for one of Germany, France, and Malaysia, which will be like 3 or 4 more people. So you just put yourself to be among that 1%, which is not necessary.
And I think, sir, one thing I also realize is that for a single UK candidate, you can use the money to sponsor like 2 or 3 Malaysian or otherwise.
Maybe
regions.
not true.
Okay.
Maybe not true because the pay is nearly exactly the same across board.
What I mean, in terms of the school fees, the tuition fees.
But the school fees is not your business because PTDF will handle that.
No, what I'm talking about is that.
Oh yes,
the
it's an advantage for them. Yes.
It's an advantage to them.
It's now that I understand your point. Yes,
one
you're
UK
right.
student can take care of 2.
They don't mind having additional students giving scholarship to go to France because I tell you, to be very specific, 1 year school fee in France, okay, if you go to the public, and I think most universities are public, especially for PhD, it will be around 400 euros, okay? But for UK, you guys know it's a lot of money.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that being said, I suggest that we bring the breakout session to a close, and I hope that all that we've discussed is of benefit to you guys. I totally wish you guys all the best. Okay.
So can you share your WhatsApp number too?
I've said my email, and I'm more available in my email than WhatsApp. To be very frank with you, I usually ignore my WhatsApp messages sometimes, but you can be sure you get response to my email.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Heartily thank you. Thank you,
sir.
You're welcome. Let's go back to the general group. You're all welcome.
Thank you, sir. I have one question. No, sorry. Wouldn't mind.
Okay,
it's
quickly.
A quick one, sir.
Yes. You don't want to share the contact that allowed you virtual interview. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. I learned like Germany. I choose Germany, and then when they reopened I got the invite. Then they reopened the website. Yes, the portal, and I changed to Malaysia. So because of the competition you talked about, and but are we going to go through their language? I don't know if
no.
It will be a compulsory
in Germany, in Malaysia, in France. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes,
in Germany, in Malaysia, in France, you do not have to do any language. Okay. I'm here in France and I do everything in English. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not, and switching from Malaysia, France, Germany, it's more or less all the same. All right. Okay. The competition is the same for Malaysia, France, and Germany. Okay. What is rather different is the UK. Okay, so see you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll stop the recording. Yeah, you're welcome.